We're here in Santa Barbara today for a fundraising effort that is being held at the home of Dr. David Bearman, one of the foremost experts in the area of medical marijuana. Here to raise awareness. We're here to raise funds, and Judge Gray is here today, and he's going to make a speech in a few minutes to our honored guests.
I have gotten a lot of good response when I talked to the patients. People were really enthusiastic about having this option and having this choice. But I also think that we've reached a tipping point when it comes to politics. And you guys are really important. It's important for you to get out and spread the word. It's the energy from you all that's important. And I think it's important for you to share his ideas and his views with your friends. Judge Gray has a great deal of integrity and moral courage. In the 1990s, way before it was fashionable, he wrote a book criticizing the drug war, why the drug war failed and what to do about it. And I've admired the judge ever since, first from afar, and then I had a chance to see him up close. We were both on a panel on a cable TV show in Los Angeles, and it was a powerful group of people. The former head of the DEA was there, a guy who later went on to be in the LA City Council, the top civil rights attorney in Los Angeles, Arianna Huffington, and myself. And rarely am I intimidated by other people's intelligence, but I certainly was at that gathering. And Judge Gray was articulate and to the point and had important things to say. And I certainly hope that Gary Johnson and Jim Gray do extremely well, and that we all do our part to help them. It's my privilege and honor to turn the microphone over to Judge Jim Gray.
You know, I can tell you directly that based upon my background, I was a former drug warrior. I was a criminal defense attorney in the Navy. Actually, as a staff judge advocate in Guam, I wrote charge sheets for our shipmates involving drug offenses. Didn't really think much about it, most people don't. And then while I was a federal prosecutor in Los Angeles, I was prosecuting lots of cases, including drug cases. And again, just didn't think about it that much. But then when I was a judge, and I would see in my own courtroom that we're churning low-level drug offenders through the system for no good purpose. And we are arresting and convicting and incarcerating even heavy-selling people. Does that mean now that cocaine is no longer available in Santa Ana or wherever? No, it just means it's an employment opportunity for someone else. So I finally had this epiphany and decided, look, who better to spread the message than somebody that's fairly clean-cut, I'll leave that for you to decide, that's never used any form of illicit substances, a pretty conservative judge in a conservative county. Somebody has to raise this, and so I did. So I've been doing this actually since 1992. It's April the 8th of 1992, I did something very unusual for a trial court judge. I held a press conference and said as loudly as I could and as often as I could that what we're doing isn't working and we simply have to change it. Since that time, it's been more than 20 years now, I have met some of the truly best people that I've ever met in my life as a result of my discussing drug policy reform. Some of them have been to prison, some of them are still drug using, some of them are like us, that we don't use any form of illicit substances, but we see what's happening is simply wrong. In fact, as I say it, and I'm not prone to exaggeration, drug policy, drug prohibition, is the biggest failed policy in the history of the United States of America, second only to slavery. And that sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. And you can see pretty much that the drug prohibition has its tentacles in everything that's going wrong in our world today. Now, before I keep going, because I can get really excited and I can talk about all kinds of issues for a long time, but I want expressly to thank my friend, Dr. David. He is just a sensational person that puts his credibility, if not his professional license, on the block frequently. But he does this, number one, for his patients because that's who he is. And he does it for his country just because that's who he is. So I expressly, David, I am honored to be with you. I'm honored to call you my friend. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not going to run just to make a moral victory or to make a statement or to make a good showing so somewhere in the future things will be better. We're going to run to win. I'm not naive. I understand the odds are against us. We're still going to run to win. Spontaneously, he said, Jim, throughout the campaign, if your ideas are different than mine, feel free to discuss them publicly. Have you ever heard of any presidential candidate telling his running mate, if you disagree with me, it's okay, you can talk about it publicly? That shows me this man not only is of integrity, but he is self-confident, and he wants to do the right thing for the right reason. He wants to gather information, and if by chance my ideas are better, then he'll change his thoughts. By the way, I've changed mine a few times because of what his thoughts are. So he has put together a campaign group. We are going to be a coalition government. What does that mean? The real benefit, well, there are many benefits, but the real benefit that we have is we're not Republicans and we're not Democrats. We are going to have people in our administration that are there because of merit. Yes, there'll be Libertarians, there'll also be Republicans, Democrats, Independents. I don't care. We're going to get the very best people from all around the land and have them in our administration. And then, because today, as you have seen, as a good idea is come up with by one party, the other party will oppose it. Why? Because they don't want the first party to get credit. That is no longer going to be the case. We are going to embrace good ideas. And anybody that supports good ideas will get all the credit in the world. It's not going to happen if the Democrat is elected, as we have seen. It will happen with our coalition government. And then, by the way, yeah, it's worthy of applause. It's going to work. It's going to work. The right thing for the right reason. And not only because that's what we talk about, that's what Governor Johnson actually did in New Mexico. We need that for the United States of America. We're going to have that for the United States of America with Governor Gary Johnson. I am committed to this. This is really an exciting thing that I am trying to give to our country. But it won't happen unless you take it personally. So it's up to you. Thank you so much. Appreciate your being here. And my goodness sakes, let's get it done. We're going to win this thing.